live.
We're live. Monte Thompson, thank you for agreeing to interviewing with us today. We appreciate you coming out here, and we acknowledge and affirm that this is what we want candidates to be doing. We want candidates to be engaging with our platform and other platforms in a way that enhances transparency and gives the public the information that they need to make an informed decision when it comes to voting. You are now running for the Board of Supervisors to represent Election District 6.
That's right.
Why did you decide to run?
Well, my daughter got me to go to a meeting. After I got over there and saw what was going on, the decisions that were being made, in my mind, I thought I could do a better job than what I saw. Be more what the public was looking for.
When was this meeting?
Oh, it's been several months right now.
Earlier this year?
Yes.
Okay, was it in the spring, like March, April, May?
I think so.
Okay. Can we hear him, Lisa?
Yeah,
okay.
I think we're good.
Okay, great. So you went to a meeting, your daughter invited you to a meeting. Was she trying to encourage you to get involved?
Yes, but I told her I want a politician.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, yeah, but you know how to make good decisions.
Okay.
And that's what they need. And I said, well, I'll go to a couple of meetings and then I'll make up my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. I went to a couple of meetings and saw what was going on. And I didn't like what I saw,
Mm-hmm.
so I decided to give it a shot.
When did you make up your mind, and what would you say was the determining factor?
I guess it was in June.
Okay.
And
Is that the month they tried to give themselves a raise, right?
oh yeah, I was there then.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was just unreal, and I wonder,
Right.
the election's coming up and they're doing something like that. And I knew the people were going to blow up.
Yeah, I think most
Which
people
they
did.
And then they turned around and took it back.
Mm-hmm.
That showed me the true colors. I mean, you're supposed to be doing this for the county.
Mm-hmm.
What they did was for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, that's not the way this government's supposed to work.
Very solid reasoning. What geographic area is included within Election District 6? Who would you be representing if elected?
Repeat that.
What geographic area within the county is included within the district you're running to represent?
All right. It starts at Cluster Springs.
Cluster Springs?
All the way down 501 to MC Days.
Mm-hmm.
You know where it's at this point.
More or
And
less,
then
yeah.
It goes up Cluster Springs Road till you get to Trinum Grove Road, and then all the way to the Carolina line, all the way to Pennsylvania County line.
Mm-hmm.
It takes in Turbeville, Paces, the River Road, Union Church Road,
Mm-hmm.
all the way over to Grubby Road. I mean, just down 58. It's a huge area.
And Alton too, right?
Alton, yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we like to educate our listeners about that. Okay, so we want to talk about your platform. You've already given us some insights into your platform, and you spoke at a previous candidate forum at the museum I saw. Your motto is New Leadership for a Better Future, and your vision is committed to provide support for farmers, good paying jobs, more affordable housing, and better secondary roads. You've made another social media post where you also added, I am committed to supporting our fire departments, first responders, and law enforcement agencies. We need entertainment for children and adults alike, and we need to spend our citizens' tax dollars wisely. What is your platform, and what would you like to say about how you've already been representing your platform?
And maybe prioritize, like, what's your number one concern? What's your number two concern?
Wonderful.
Okay. Number one concern is getting better jobs for Hitachi has made the big announcement, so that's gonna help a lot. Number two is housing.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to have housing for these people. I mean, we need affordable housing,
Yes.
and we need recreation.
Recreation and your entertainment.
Right.
What do you see? What are the gaps there? What are the actual specific needs there in terms of entertainment and recreation?
There's very little to do in this county. I mean, you go to World of Sports, you got movie theaters, you got bowling. It's just not a lot for people to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to make people want to come to this county, and really nothing to keep them here once you already have them. Because they're looking out for a better life.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see why Halifax County can't provide it as well as somebody else.
Yeah.
We just need to get the right people looking at what we need and make it happen.
So, in other words, you think maybe the community should be giving feedback of what type of entertainment and recreation they want?
Sure.
Okay.
You gotta know what people want before you can give it to them.
Okay. Okay, that sounds like you're open to listening.
That's a great
Yes.
point too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Now, is there anything else you want to say about any aspect of your platform as you've already laid it out before we move on to other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so why you versus your opponent, James Gordon? Why should ED-6 people vote for you?
I have nothing against James. I know he spends a lot of time trying to convince people that he belongs here, and I ain't saying he don't.
Mm-hmm.
But James will never feel about this county the way that I do. I was born and raised here. It's going to always be home to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I care about what goes on in this county. And every decision I make is going to be to make things better.
Mm.
It's not going to be to make it worse. We need to get this county going in the right direction. And I'm just one vote,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll be a vote for the people and for the county.
So what I'm hearing is that your local roots run deeper, and so your passion is stronger. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, like I said, this will always be home. When I worked out of town sometimes construction, but when I hit Riverdale Hill and I saw the lights of South Austin, to me that was a beautiful sight because I knew I was home.
You feel home when you drive back here, and you decided to retire here, correct?
Right.
Where were you living before you came back here?
Well, I worked in Tennessee before I come back home, but I already own my home here.
So you kept your home the whole time. So you have always had property here, but you were living and working in Tennessee for a while.
Right.
Okay. Now, James Gordon, your opponent, he has promised the voters of the election District 6 to host quarterly town halls to make himself more accessible to the constituents and to provide monthly reports in some form or another, even if it's electronically, to his constituents from what the Board of Supervisors has been up to. Are you willing to match that promise to the voters, or do you have an alternative plan for increasing transparency and accessibility should you win?
And communication.
And communication, sure.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. And we need communication.
Mm.
The people want to know. Well, we want to know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we definitely need communication. We need transparency. And the way to get that is let the people know what's going on.
Okay. Now I'd like to pin you down on the specifics if you don't mind. Do you agree with that time frame? You know, town halls at least once per quarter, once every 3 months, and then you give some kind of public forum of a report, even if it's just electronically, to direct it toward election District 6 constituents at least once per month. Do you commit to those standards?
Sure.
Okay, great. So, okay. Now, your race was, until a few weeks ago, a three-way race. Current ED-6 Supervisor Stanley Brandon withdrew from the race. Did he make the right choice in your opinion, and what are your thoughts on that?
I think he made the right choice. I don't really know Stanley. I've never personally met him or spoke to him. But this three-way deal going on, there was a lot of people wouldn't get behind you because they said, I had some tell me until somebody steps down, I won't get behind anybody. So I think he made the right choice, and what his reasoning is, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad he done it.
So why do you think it would be a point for someone to wait for somebody to step down before they would support someone? I'm not quite following you.
Because it felt like Stanley would keep his support that he had, and me and James would be battling against each other, and it would just pretty much give it to Stanley.
So y'all would take the fact that Stanley had two opponents means that you guys would split the vote that was against Stanley. So no matter what, Stanley was poised to win, with you and Mr. Gordon both being in the race.
Right.
And that was the opinion of the constituent who spoke with you about it.
Right.
Okay. So, okay, anything else on that, or can we move on? Okay. All right, now let's see. I have a Facebook post that you made. I wanted to read some excerpts from it, okay? And you said, this election is one of the most important elections Halifax County has had in years. I love this county. It is home and always has been. I always knew that no matter where my career took me, I would come home to retire. Now that I'm at home, it breaks my heart to see the way that the Band of Five, led by Bryant Claiborne, is trying to destroy it. Right now, our future looks mighty bleak. When you think it couldn't get any worse, it does. Our citizens can change this in this year's election if they will cast their votes for Larry Roller, Jeff Oakes, and Monte Thompson. If these three get voted in, that will get Stanley Brandon and Hubert Pinnell off the Board of Supervisors and guarantee Bryant Claiborne will be voted out as chairman. Any other outcome is just taking a chance. This outcome is the first step in our county going back in the right direction. You are vocal about your opposition to the group that we call them the Group of Five here on this platform. You call them the Band of Five, and some of their recent controversial choices. What would you like to share about this topic with our audience? If elected, what would you do to change course for the county? And if you want to add within your answer comments about why the future looks mighty bleak here, in your opinion, and why it's so critical that the people that you've endorsed win their elections. We would appreciate that as well.
Well, if things happen the way I wrote it there,
Mm-hmm.
we would be able to vote Mr. Claiborne off of the chairman.
Yes.
And by doing that, we'd be able to, in my opinion, we wouldn't be as much behind closed doors, and he makes decisions without anybody knowing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
All that would go away. People would be making decisions for the county, in my opinion, because they have made some very poor decisions. And things need to change, and I think they will change once this happens.
Okay, did you have something to add, Lisa?
I was just going to say, so what I'm hearing is that you feel like that Mr. Claiborne is pretty much leads the team and has a heavy influence on decisions they're making.
Right.
So if you win this election and go in there as a board of supervisor, even if he's no longer the chairman, you still have to work with him. How would you foster that relationship?
I have no problems at all working with him.
Well, it also sounds like you're pinning the lack of transparency primarily on him and the way he conducts his business as chairman. Is that correct?
Exactly. And I think that's going to go away.
That would go away if he's voted out of the chairman position. In other words, just removing him from the chairmanship would make the board more transparent, in your opinion.
I think so.
And can I ask a question?
Of
Because
course.
people watching are probably not going to understand the process, because a lot of people don't follow politics at all.
Yeah.
And people that watch our and listen to our podcast wouldn't understand. How does one become the chairman of the Board of Supervisors? What does it take? Just a simple majority vote, or what?
He has
Of the board members.
to have to vote on it. First, somebody's got to recommend him,
Nominate them, and then second the nomination.
and then it has to be voted on by the Board of Supervisors.
Mhm.
And that's what determines who gets that position. And I don't think he stands a chance of getting it again.
If these people are elected into their positions.
If there's effectively a turnover. Now, does Mr. Brandon's withdrawal from the race kind of guarantee a change in the power dynamic in your view, or is it still up in the air?
Well, it's still up in the air because that's just one. Then you're going to have four on each side.
4 versus 4, and then a lot of these issues that are contentious would go to the tiebreaker.
Right.
So,
Which is Mr. Smith.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Anything else on that, Lisa? Before
Well, we
move
missed
on?
a couple of things because.
What did we miss?
Well, no, just that it's a big question. You mentioned that they were trying to destroy it. Are you saying by poor decisions, lack of transparency, and the controversies we've discussed, or is there any more to add to that? Because that's a big word, that they're trying to destroy it.
Yeah, what is the worst case? Like, what direction is it headed in that causes you to say that they're trying to destroy the county? What do you envision as where this could head in terms of a worst case scenario?
All right, we've lost county administrator. We lost the financial director. And now we got one lady in here trying to do both jobs for a lot more money. And I just don't see how she could possibly do it. When we had 2 people doing the same job, working 80 hours a week. And in my mind, there's no way she can do the job that needs to be done. And we're just gonna go downhill.
In 2 days per week. So in other words, by making these questionable choices, they're degrading the quality of service that we're getting from the administration, and that can lead to all kinds of negative downstream effects. Does that accurately depict how you see it?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Like the economy for the worse, not improving, not getting more jobs, not improving housing, all the things he's touched on. No progress. I guess if I have to put it in a couple words, there you go. And is that what you mean by destroying our community?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think it could get worse and go backwards?
It's just like Scott Simpson got the $10 million water line deal taken care of. We don't have anybody to look after. Nobody knows nothing.
Right.
Except for the fact that we got it.
So we got this, what is it, a grant?
Yes.
And then there's, you're concerned that Ms. Morgan is not equipped with doing 2 jobs and only having 16 hours per week in which to do both jobs. She's ill-equipped, or we don't have the infrastructure to manage the grant that Mr. Simpson procured.
I don't think she would have a clue how to start this project. So,
What evidence would you cite to support this idea that she wouldn't know where to start?
because she hadn't been involved in any of it. I imagine it took Scott quite a while to put this all together.
Right.
Just like the Halifax deal. This didn't happen overnight.
Right.
It was 2 or 3 years getting that deal put together.
Okay. All right. So yes, the Board of Supervisors has made some controversial decisions this year. You have previously indicated that some of these were part of your impetus for choosing to run for the position that you're currently running for. We want to take them kind of one by one and give you the opportunity to comment on these controversies. So let's start with the attempt that they did to give themselves a raise, and then of course they reversed course. What are your thoughts on that episode?
My thoughts on it is they're thinking more about themselves than they were the county or the people in the county. I mean, that's obvious.
Right.
Or they wouldn't have put in for a $5,000 raise.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I would have never voted on.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think they felt secure in that course of action?
I don't know. Especially with election coming up, it certainly didn't help them any.
That I think is an understatement, Mr. Thompson. Yeah, I definitely don't think it helped them. The general concept that the board has a lack of transparency, we can attest to that. We have certain board members, even including one who has previously committed to interviewing with us, who is no longer returning our calls. And then we have another individual who keeps delaying us, say, call us next week. We've heard that, 2 weeks in a row now?
We'll keep trying.
Yeah, of course we'll keep trying. So we've experienced a lack of transparency as an up and coming press outlet here locally. But other people have raised the concerns that they don't live stream their meetings to the internet, unlike pretty much every county in the surrounding region. And that they don't answer their phone calls. They very rarely even respond to email according to their reputations and what people in the county are saying. How do you feel about the lack of transparency, and what would you do to reverse that if elected?
I think it needs to be live streamed, and the people need to know what's going on. Just like you're talking about the deal with letting them know.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be transparent if people don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's where it's got to start in.
And in the pre-interview, you made the comment that your phone works.
Yes. My phone works just fine, and I will answer it.
And you'll answer the phone too.
Unless it says spam.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Unless it says spam, you'll answer it.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna call you and see if my phone comes up as spam. Okay. Okay, so we'll get that settled. Okay, another local controversy. Members of the animal control were fired, and now they have filed a lawsuit against the board members that they see as responsible for firing them. Do you have any response to that incident?
I have no idea why they were fired, and I don't know if anybody does. From what I understand, they said they didn't need a reason, and now they're going to end up paying for it one way or the other.
If it's determined to be a wrongful termination.
Right.
Yes. Okay. And you've already mentioned the controversy of hiring Ms. Tamika Morgan to be both the county administrator and the finance director at a monthly compensation rate of $25,500 per month, plus benefits, plus travel. You reposted an article from the Gazette Virginian onto your Facebook timeline about this topic, and you commented on the repost. There has to be more going on here than we know about, implying that maybe something behind the scenes is precipitating this that may be imprudent or inappropriate. What are your thoughts on that, and what were you implying there?
It just seemed awful fishy to me. This lady resigned this job, and as soon as Scott was fired, she was already lined up to take his place before he was ever fired.
Like it was all planned in advance?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Why do you think she was the one selected?
I don't know. I think everybody would like to know.
Didn't she previously serve as finance director on an interim basis?
Yeah.
I haven't understood that. And then what a tipster told me is that she actually stepped back from that because it was too much work for her. That's what I was told.
Well, I've heard it was too much work, and she didn't really know what she was supposed to be doing.
So if that one position was too much work for her, and reportedly she didn't know what she was doing, now she's got two jobs, which are really the most complex, highest ranking jobs in the county, correct? In the county government. Right. So the two most highest ranking positions in county government, she's now meant to be doing both of those jobs with only 16 hours of labor hours per week. Despite the fact that she had previously, I was told she resigned from just being the finance director because she said it was too much of a burden. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what a tipster told me. Is that your understanding of how it happened?
Yes.
So in other words, you don't have a specific accusation against anyone. You just say that this seems fishy, that this presents the specter of something that's inappropriate.
There you go with transparency again. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks this.
But we've had many people express this exact opinion to our platform, to us as tipsters and individually. I think this is the majority opinion in the county at this point. So, okay, anything else you want to say about Ms. Morgan before we move on?
No.
Okay. People in the community, including folks within our audience who speak with us, use the word corruption when talking of just about all aspects of our local government, top to bottom. Are we dealing with the specter of corruption in Halifax County? If so, what is to be done about it, and what would you do if elected?
Corruption is a mighty big word. There's a lot of things might not make sense, but I personally couldn't say anyone was corrupt without knowing it for sure. But there's a lot out there for people to wonder about.
I see. So you affirm that there is a specter of corruption, and you affirm that I guess people are talking about this in that direction across the county. You don't have any evidence that suggests, no concrete evidence of corruption, and so you hesitate to come down in that direction. Is that correct?
And maybe at best it's poor decision making.
Yeah, very poor.
What you may, if elected, be in a position to have more information.
Yeah.
If you find that there is concrete evidence of corruption within the local government, how would you react?
I would have to report it.
You'd have to report it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe in transparency, even if it means ruffling feathers of your colleagues and the people that you'd be working with on the board.
Right.
Okay.
And accountability.
So
He had mentioned that before. Yeah.
accountability. Okay. Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay, did the Board of Supervisors make a bad call when firing Scott Simpson earlier this year? Why or why not?
I think they made a bad call. From everything I've heard, Scott done an excellent job, one of the best we've had in years.
Okay.
I didn't know Scott personally, but I never heard anything but good things about him. So all I can base it on is what I've been told.
The circumstances around his firing have been kind of mysterious, and I'm going to use a very technical journalist term and say that they've been sketchy. They've been quite sketchy. We had the episode earlier this year where there was a rumor that the board was planning to fire Scott Simpson, and several community members showed up to the public comment section to speak in favor of Mr. Simpson. Then a couple months later, it happens where a very abrupt firing occurs, and as you said, they had Ms. Morgan waiting in the wings to hire her for 2 positions the moment that they decided to do it. What do you have a theory? No one is being transparent about what happened. They did a lot of this during closed session. Of course, anything related to hiring and firing, they have the legal right to do that. When they're talking about personnel, they have the legal right to exercise the prerogative to do that within the confines of closed sessions. But neither side, neither the group of 5 who opposed Scott Simpson and effectively fired him, nor the minority of 3 that you have aligned yourself with, neither side has been transparent about why Scott Simpson was fired. It seems to be a very tight-lipped situation. Do you have an opinion or any information as to why Mr. Simpson was fired?
I don't have any information. And I really don't know why he was fired other than the fact that Mr. Claiborne wanted him gone.
So in your opinion, that was enough to precipitate the chain of events that led to his firing?
Yeah.
Just Mr. Claiborne's animus against him.
And again, persuading the entire board of, the majority of the board of supervisors to go along.
To go along with his agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
He's ruled the roost for quite a while now. And that's been obvious.
So you see him as a ringleader figure, as somebody who is kind of behind the scenes orchestrating a lot of these controversial decisions.
I mean, that's the way I see it.
Okay.
And that's one reason I'm sitting here now.
Well, that's circling back to one of your top priorities, which is to get on the board to vote him out of the chairmanship.
Yeah, that's one of my priorities, yes.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, great. Recent Flashpoint events, and we're referring to the incident at the YMCA where Miss Mariah Spooner, an African-American woman, was asked to relinquish her seat for an exercise class to a white lady, and she live-streamed portion of it. There was also an incident through the Halifax County Sheriff's Office where there was a gentleman who was pulled over for squatting, and he I'll admit, in a sort of belligerent and very vocally aggressive way, in a loud way, asserted that his prerogative to ask that they demonstrate to him by measuring that he actually was squatting before he would relinquish and allow them to confiscate his vehicle.
Which is what they're required to do before they can cite you.
Okay. Yeah, and you have concrete evidence of that.
Yes.
Right? Okay. And so these have gone viral on social media and have served as flashpoints for catalyzing a conversation about race relations that many people were already having in close quarters and with their trusted loved ones. We have recent flashpoints events have highlighted how strained race relations are in Halifax County. If elected, would you prioritize addressing this issue? And if so, how would you address it?
Yes, I would look into it. The only way I would know to address it is get out and talk to people and see what their viewpoints were and get some feedback from the public. Exactly what's going on. That's the only way I know to find out. But, personally, I don't have any race problems, thank God. But it's something we don't need in the county. And hopefully we won't have it.
So you would rather see some of these divisions kind of mend themselves in some kind of way, and what you seem to be suggesting is that you don't have the answers, but you're prepared to listen.
Yes.
Okay. What would you do concretely to try to reach out to people in your district who may be different than you that may have perspectives to share?
And I might even add on to that. Are you involved in the black community at all?
Not really. I've got some friends, just black, but really I don't get out and socialize that much. So I really don't have the time. I've been staying tied up with trying to get this done, take care of my business. Just recently got married.
Congratulations.
Yep.
It's been keeping me busy for a while now.
Any plans for kids?
No.
Well, for example, I'm sure there are some black churches in your district. Do you think that that's something that you would be proactive about, like reaching out to people within your district who might want to have something to say about this topic?
Yes, I talked to some of the black people that I have supporting me.
Oh, great.
Yeah. That would be a good place for me to start.
Yeah, and do you have a lot of black support?
I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, awesome. I'll move on to the next one unless you have something to add. Okay, as of 2023, the most recent census data we have for our county on this topic is from 2023. As of 2023, U.S. Census data shows that the percentage of our Halifax County population living below the poverty line is currently as of that year at 17.9%. This represented an additional 3.2 percentage points from the previous year. So in other words, it rose another 3.2 percentage points between 2022 and 2023. The childhood poverty rate as of 2023 is at 28.7% in Halifax County. And the young childhood poverty rate reveals that 26.8% of children ages 5 and under are living below the poverty line here in this county. Local leaders love to boast about recent economic development gains in the county in recent years. Yet, these numbers never get significantly better and are trending in a bad direction. Would you prioritize reducing the poverty rate and the childhood poverty rate if elected? And if so, what would you do differently, as it seems that current efforts are not working?
Well, one thing, cost of living is went through the roof. That's a big burden on a lot of people, even myself. I'm on fixed income, and then you got housing. I mean, it's hard to find anything less than $1,200 a month.
Right.
You're lucky to find that. Man.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you could fix that problem. I taught you bringing in better jobs. That's going to help a lot. But all people don't like to work in factories. I know I didn't.
Yeah.
I worked a couple of jobs in my younger days, but it just won't be. So we need to keep bringing in other types of work somehow.
So a diversified offering of different types of jobs that meets what where the community is.
Right.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. And this may be another thing where it sounds like you are saying that you don't have all the answers, but maybe would you be willing to learn and listen and do more work to research that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. What would you like for us to know about your background? You've already revealed that you are retired. One of our posts that we collected in our research says that you are a member of Black Walnut Baptist Church, where you serve as a deacon, a trustee, and chairman of the Buildings and Grounds Committee. What else would you like us to know about your career background, any political or community engagement that you've had prior to this point, any organizations that you may be a part of?
Well, my career was construction. I worked 42 years in construction, mostly building power plants. Mm-hmm. And I traveled all over the country. I worked in Florida, I worked in Louisiana, Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio. And the last 20 years I was in upper management. I retired as construction manager. But throughout all of that, I had to be transparent in everything I've done. And I was held accountable. If something goes wrong, buck stop with me. Mm-hmm. So, I've been retired 8 years now, and trying to enjoy life. But
well, this seems counterproductive to that end.
Well, it's interesting.
It wakes you up, huh?
It's very interesting.
Well, you emphasize that concept of accountability, and you've connected it to your career experience. Do you think that your career background prepares you to be, let's say, more accountable than some of the current members are demonstrating themselves to be? In your opinion?
Maybe more than some. But we got some good people there.
Okay.
Just trying to do for the county.
So it's not all bad news?
No, it's not all bad.
Okay. This is my final question. Lisa may have something to add. Do you have any conflicts of interest in terms of your social ties within the county? Are you close with anyone within local government? Anything that might compromise your objectivity?
No.
Okay.
I do have one final question I'd like to ask. Mr. Thompson, you said you were 42 years in construction and you spent the end part of that in management. even though Sean alluded that this may not be an enjoyable piece going into politics, I think you might agree that solving problems can be rewarding. So I'm hoping, can you tell me about a time when you were a manager in construction that you worked on a project and a problem came up? How did you solve it?
I had many of those.
I bet you did. Can you think of one example so you can illustrate for us how you...
I actually had a boss man that told me my strongest asset was my problem solving skills. But I'm a type I like to think about things. You ask me a question, I really like to think about it before I answer it. But to answer your question, the first thing to come into mind for me, I was in Tennessee, and we were tearing down some silos. But these silos, one particular had silage in it, up like 15 foot. And we didn't know how we was going to get it down because of the silage. And I come up with a way to do it. We wrapped cables around it and hooked it to a dozer and pulled it, and that cable cut right through it and brought it down. Which all the others were empty, and they just knocked some of the blocks out and they would just tumble over. But this particular one, you couldn't do that. But we brought it down.
So you're in charge of organizing the team to execute your idea,
Yes.
and it was successful.
Yes.
Excellent.
And he thought outside the box to get there. Sounds like something that other people wouldn't have done it the way you did it.
Right.
So, well, Mr. Thompson, what else did we miss? Is there anything that you would like to speak to that we didn't ask a question about?
Nothing I can think of at all.
You made a few words anyway.
I am.
By your own admission.
Yes.
Well, we sure appreciate your time.
Yeah, we appreciate your time, and Godspeed as you continue with your election cycle against Mr. Gordon, and I guess we'll see where it all ends up.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.